The carnival lights danced in her eyes, casting a magical glow that seemed to make the world around them disappear.
He was captivated, unable to look away from her sparkling eyes and infectious smile.
Her laughter was the only music he wanted to hear. They were young, carefree, and every moment felt like a beautiful dream. Summer stretched before them, endless and full of promise. The days were long, filled with sunshine and the scent of blooming flowers.
He held her hand, a thrill shooting up his arm as if he had touched a live wire.
She squeezed back, her smile radiant, lighting up his world in a way he had never experienced before. They shared cotton candy, sticky fingers intertwined, laughing as they fed each other the sweet treat. In that moment, nothing else mattered. The world outside the carnival faded away, leaving just the two of them in their own little universe. Days melted into weeks, filled with stolen kisses and whispered secrets. Each day brought new adventures and deeper feelings. Every touch sent shivers down his spine, a reminder of the electric connection they shared. He was falling for her, and it felt like falling into the sky, limitless and full of wonder. Their love was a summer romance, but it felt like it could last forever. Summer began to fade. The air grew cooler, shadows longer.
He felt a shift in her, a subtle withdrawal.
Her laughter wasn't as bright, her touch not as lingering. He caught her looking away, a sadness in her eyes he couldn't decipher.
When he questioned her, she brushed it off, but his heart felt a tremor of unease. Something was wrong.
He tried to recapture their easy intimacy, but something was different. Her kisses were hesitant, her gaze distant. The joy that had been so vibrant now flickered like a dying flame.
"What's wrong?" he asked, his voice trembling slightly, his voice tight with unshed tears. He could feel the weight of the silence between them, a silence that had grown louder with each passing day.
They sat on their bench, the place where they had shared countless memories, now a silent witness to their growing distance. The carnival, once a symbol of their joy, now felt like a distant memory. He searched her face, looking for any sign, any clue that could explain the chasm that had formed between them. Desperate to understand the growing chasm between them, he felt a pang of helplessness.
"Nothing," she murmured, her voice barely audible, avoiding his eyes. She couldn't bear to meet his gaze, knowing it would break her resolve.
He saw right through her. He knew her too well to be fooled by her words. Her words said nothing, but her eyes screamed of a pain she wouldn't share. He pulled her close, feeling her tremble in his arms, wanting to chase away the shadows he saw lurking in her eyes. He wished he could take away her pain, make everything right again.
"Please talk to me," he pleaded. "Let me help." His voice was filled with a mix of desperation and hope, hoping that she would finally open up to him.
But his words seemed to bounce off a wall she had erected. A wall built from fear, pain, and secrets she wasn't ready to share. He could only hope that one day she would let him in.
She pulled back, her eyes bright with unshed tears. "I'm fine," she insisted, her voice cracking. "Nothing's changed."
But everything had changed. He could feel it in his bones. He knew she was hurting, but he couldn't reach her.
Her denial was a shield, protecting her from something he couldn't see. He felt helpless, his heart breaking.
Her denials became more frequent, her distance more pronounced. He clung to her fading presence, desperate to hold on to the love they had shared. But it was like grasping at sand. Autumn painted the leaves in hues of red and gold, a painful reminder of their fading love. The vibrant colors mirrored the intensity of their once passionate relationship, now reduced to mere memories. Each leaf that fell symbolized a moment they had shared, now drifting away with the wind. One day she was gone, no explanation, no goodbye. Just a letter left behind, its words as cold and empty as the house he now found himself in. The silence was deafening, a stark contrast to the laughter that once filled their home. Just an empty space where her heart had been. The room felt hollow, echoing the void in his chest. He would sit for hours, staring at the chair she used to occupy, hoping for a sign, a reason, anything to make sense of her sudden departure.
He was left with a gaping hole in his chest, an ache that wouldn't subside. Nights were the hardest, the darkness amplifying his sorrow. He clutched his chest, trying to hold together the pieces of his broken heart. The memories they had made, once a source of joy, now felt like shards of glass piercing his soul. He would sift through old photographs and mementos, each one a painful reminder of the love they had lost. Tears would stream down his face as he relived those moments, wishing he could turn back time.
He never stopped loving her, but he knew he had to let her go. Holding on to the past was only prolonging his pain. He stood in the park where they first met, looking at a photograph of them together, and whispered a silent goodbye. As the years passed, the pain dulled, replaced by a bittersweet ache. The changing seasons marked the passage of time, each one bringing a new layer of healing. He learned to live with the ache, finding solace in the beauty of the world around him. He carried the memory of their summer love, a precious and painful reminder of what he had lost. Those warm, sunlit days were etched in his mind and are the testament to a love that once was. Though it hurt, he cherished those memories, for they were a part of him, a chapter in his story that would never fade away.